Welcome to Buzzwords, coming at you from the Noisy Spoon Sunroom Saloon, bourbon, beers, books, and more, where if you're listening to this podcast this time, make sure you're standing outside and not in a building.
Very, very, very true. Yes.
Scott, what are you drinking this time?
I am drinking Conway's Irish Ale.
Ooh, that actually sounds pretty good.
Looks pretty good. You want a sip?
Can I smell it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, it does smell good.
Oh, he wanted to smell it. Now he's tasting it.
That's fine.
Well, that's pretty good. I'm not a big beer drinker, but that one's pretty good. Howie.
I have, courtesy of Scott, a Sam Adams Blueberry Lager. Also tasty.
I got a great story about blueberry. I'll tell you later off the air. Anyway, I'm Craig, and I am drinking for the second week in a row. 2 weeks ago, I guess, the last time we were here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Second show in a row.
Second show in a row. 1792 Bottled and Bond bourbon. I'm a bourbon guy, and Bottled and Bond seems to be the thing I like. Then it's small batch.
And he just explained to us before the show started what bottled and bond meant. And although I understood the words, I still don't entirely get it.
Well, he explained it to us. You were the only one listening. I kind of it went in one ear and out the other.
What Howie heard was wah 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 wah.
I was Charlie Brown in the classroom at that point. I'm just like, okay, you're drinking bourbon.
Today's exciting book,
Very
exciting,
yes,
is I'm going to preface this a little bit with how we got started on this book. I got this book out of the library, read the first 50 pages, and said, this book is awesome.
And you told me about it.
Told you about it, and I told Scott about it. And then
I think I came to it separately.
I think you did. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think we mentioned it to you at least.
This was a recommendation from one of my wife's friends a few months ago.
Regardless, I was the last person to read the book.
Which is hysterical because I think you mentioned it to me
at bowling.
It might have been bowling, and it might have been sometime around the New Year.
Right.
And I had gone to the airport to pick up my family coming back from Disney World, but on the way there, since I got out there early enough, I stopped at Barnes & Noble on Transit Road and decided I'm going to buy a copy of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
And we're all late to it because this book is from 2021.
Exactly. And there are now, at this point, 7 published sequels.
8. Oh, yeah, 7 sequels.
7 published sequels.
Yep.
And in various interviews that the author, Matt Dinniman, has given, he said, oh, yeah, there's going to be one more book, but I'm splitting it into 2. So there's going to be 2 more books.
Right.
Yeah.
So we J.K. Rowling, the last book?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit different, and it hits a different audience.
I came onto this book around the first of the year because I actually bought my own copy rather than the library copy because it was impossible to keep it. Every time I tried to get it, I would get it, and then someone would request it out from under me. So it was a pain in the butt. So I bought a copy of it to take with me when I went to Florida for my vacation in February.
And you did not read it then?
I did not read it then, even though I had a ton of time to read because we got stuck in Atlanta airport for 18 hours.
And the amount of times this book...
And you could have read the whole book in that time.
100%.
You could have read like 3 of the books from this series in 18 hours, knowing the way you read. But
when you're sitting in an airport like that, the last thing you want... Yeah, you're not reading.
No. But I
people
love
watching.
But yes, but at the same time, I mean, this book has been on our collective radar for a while.
Yeah.
And when Craig read the first 50 pages, he told me about it. He goes, you got to read this. This is like Ready Player One on acid. I'm like, oh, cool. That's right up my alley. Now, I'll get to what I would compare it to shortly. But I will say that it's not just on our radar. I had book 2 in my car recently.
10 million copies in the last 2 months, man.
It's
crazy.
Million copies.
It's everywhere now.
I managed to get the second book from my library in Medina. It's sitting in my car, and
I bought a copy.
I thought about buying a copy, then I said, you know what? Let me see if I can't read it from the library and save myself a little bit of money this time.
I bought my copy at Barnes & Noble during a Dungeon Crawler Carl event.
Which is awesome. All right. So my daughter, I was picking her
We're
up
going
from...
to talk about that event and what that manager said.
Okay. I picked my daughter up. I was taking her to auditions for one of the local summer plays, and her friend, I was picking her up too to drive her up, and her friend's like, oh yeah, my dad is reading this now. So I know that it's not just us, and it's appealing to dads. We're going to get to that because Scott, you just alluded to that. I mentioned this to my brother because my brother is someone I find books. And I said, Mark, these are books for people who don't like to read. And I've sent him several and he's read them. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. The other day he was flying and his co-pilot had a Kindle. I go,
was he reading this book?
She was reading this book. Yeah. And he said, what are you reading?
Women do like it too, but I think it is more male.
More middle-aged male.
I think it skews middle-aged male, but it's accessible to anybody who's ever done certain things, RPG-wise type thing. But my brother said to his co-pilot, he goes, my brother said something about this, and her response was, it's just so much fun. And I think that is a word that really hits home with this book.
Definitely.
Fun.
One of the things I wanted to point out, which drew me in, was other than Dungeon Crawler Carl. At the bottom, the review is from Felicia Day. I love Felicia
I
Day.
love Felicia Day too.
So if she's giving it her stamp of approval,
Well, I had seen somewhere on Twitter or Blue Sky something. She said she has been reading these books since 2021. Like she was she was a very early adopter, which frankly doesn't surprise me. But I remember when the 8th book came out just a couple months ago, she posted something like, I got the 8th book. I'm so excited. Don't talk to me for a day. Yeah, she's
fun.
Yeah.
Like this book. So
definitely. Now, so you said like Ready Player One on acid?
Yes.
And you
don't think it's I think it has elements of Ready Player One, but the more I read this and as I was reading through it and getting
Again, that was on my first 50 pages.
That was your first 50 pages, and I saw why you would say that. But as I read through the whole thing and finished the book, I felt that it was more a combination of Survivor mixed in with Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior, like the OG Nintendo RPG games.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think you combine those with a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons.
A lot of Dungeons and Dragons, actually.
Right. And then what would be the best aspect regarding Princess Donut? What would be something with that? I don't know, maybe R-rated Disney animals. You know, let's throw that in and just throw it in the blender.
Rocky from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Rocket. Yes.
Rocket, yes.
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe a little bit, but you throw it in the blender and then write the book while on acid. There we go. I don't know how somebody sits down and decides to write something like this, but I'm thankful they did.
So I would blend 1 part Hunger Games.
That too, yes.
1 part Running Man.
Yes.
Okay.
And then any role-playing game.
Yes. As I'm reading this book, I'm just like, this is just so much like fun. Like I was having fun while reading this book. And reading is enjoyable anyway, but when you sit down and Craig, you're holding the book in your hand. How many pages is this book?
460.
460. And when it feels like you're reading a book that's like maybe 160 pages, and when it's really 460, that tells you how fun the book is.
So I had trouble getting started once I
restarted,
and it has to do with life. I was going, I'm not getting it. And that's honestly because I couldn't sit down and read it. Once I started yesterday and started reading it, I flew through it. In fact, I didn't want to go to bed at 12:30 at night so I could finish the book, but I had about 45 pages left and I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, you would get to the end and then you would wake up this morning wondering like, what just happened? So it's better to go to sleep and read the rest of it, refresh. And it was funny because, you know, Scott, you and I are both sitting like, this book is so much fun. Meanwhile, Craig in our off-air chat is like, I'm not sure I'm feeling this book, guys. I'm not sure I'm feeling this book. And we're like, no. You'll get there. You'll get there.
And I don't know to what degree you are there. So
he gave it a 4. He gave it a 4 out of 5.
I gave it 4 out of 5 on my Goodreads
because he's super stingy with his
I don't
fives.
give out a lot of 5s. So.
All right. I am through 6 books at this point.
Okay.
The first book is Tame.
Really?
That makes me happy.
The last 100 pages of the first book, by far, in my humble opinion, were the best 100 pages of the book.
Yeah.
Of any 100 pages.
I would agree. I would agree wholeheartedly. Yeah.
There is this cool quote in the back in the acknowledgments because I am a nerd. I read the acknowledgments. I read everything that's in the book. Matt Dinniman writes, I went from a guy who'd gotten his teeth kicked in by the pandemic to someone who actually gets to write silly stories about a talking cat for a living. Like his dream has come true.
Do you know what he did for a living prior to this?
No.
You're going to tell us.
I am going to tell you, and you're not going to believe me, but it's 100% true.
Okay.
He was a cat artist at cat shows. So the type of shows that Donut competes in,
oh my God,
he would go to conventions and draw people's cats for them.
That tracks. I love it.
That was his job.
I think that is what Craig. Correct me if I'm wrong. You and your family have a cat, yes?
3 of them.
Okay, Scott. There's a dog floating around here, but do you have a cat? No. And my family has 5 cats. So let's put it this way: everything coming out of Princess Donut's mouth in this book, I can hear my cat saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a male or a female cat. It's the same tone, the same.
A very judgmental, we're right, you're wrong. I remember something, I think it was, I don't know.
Dogs have owners, cats have minions.
Yes.
Right.
Well, and Carl is what, her bodyguard or manservant?
Yeah, exactly. which cracks. As soon as the status was like discovered in terms of who was what, I was reading that. I'm like, oh, this is going to be glorious, right? And the funny thing that I'm remembering is a comedian. I don't know if it was Robin Williams or George Carlin. I forget which one. Might have been neither. But they said, you ever notice the difference between a dog and a cat? A dog will run around the house, knock over a lamp, and then go hide in a corner and feel shame because the dog feels guilty. A cat will jump up onto the dining room table while you have company, and each of its 4 paws will land in a separate cup and saucer, and it will look at you like, what? I meant to do that. Why are these here? Get these out of here. The cat knows what it's doing, and everything it does is for a purpose, and if it's wrong, it's somehow your fault. And that's exactly how he wrote Donut. And so when you said he's a cat artist, or was a cat artist, I get it.
He's also a musician, but he puts some quotation marks. Well, a bass player.
So I had seen a clip from him because my entire social media is now Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Somehow mine is too.
And I had seen he was at some sort of a convention answering questions. At one point, he was a telephone psychic. He worked for
Miss Cleo.
He worked for Miss Cleo. So in college, he needed a job, and they had like a thing, a board where they said, phone work available. And so he took a phone number and he called, and they said, all right, this is what the deal is. Go get a deck of tarot cards, and we're going to get you a new phone number. And when the phone rings, have the tarot cards ready. And so for a while, he was a telephone psychic.
Which tells you everything you need to know about what your fortune is being told from a phone psychic.
And he probably played a lot of video games.
I'm sure he did.
He had to have.
I'm sure he did. For me personally, I was in immediately.
I would say it probably took me maybe 3 pages, and boom, I'm like, this is cool. Oh my God, I'm in. Yes.
Yeah.
It took me 3.5 weeks to read the first 57 pages for the second time.
Well, you've also been dealing with some stuff at home, not anything bad. You're doing some remodeling, so that's
Major
taking a lot of
remodeling,
space
yeah.
out of your day. And for a book like this, you could read in at most 3 days.
And it's taking a lot of reading time is still there, but it's not as easy to read because there's so much distraction.
And of course, by the time you get ready to read for you, you're probably exhausted from all the remodeling going on in your house. So there's only so much mental capacity you have. But when you finally sat down to read it, though, we were both happy that you finally got it and you were in.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you guys are both reading physical copies. I'm doing the Audible. Jeff Hayes, the narrator, is amazing.
I've seen some clips of him online.
I know how you and I have talked on a few occasions about different narrators that we like. Will Wheaton, Ray Porter. Mm-hmm. Jeff Hayes makes them all look like they have no idea what they're doing.
I just might have to dive into and use some Audible credits for this book.
So the first book, Jeff Hayes narrates everyone.
Just use different voices.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw clips where he's doing different voices for everybody.
And he changes on the fly.
You know who would be really good at that? Hank Azaria.
I could see Hank doing it.
He'd probably have to do some rehearsal. Jeff Hayes at one point said, I think there was one book late in the series that he'd started reading and recording cold.
Yeah.
And there might have been new characters. So I'm really curious how that turned out.
The narration is just absolutely amazing. As a rule, I like my narrators to narrate. I don't want them to act per se.
Understood.
There's a line though, and he is so close to it, but it is amazing.
Can I ask you a question as someone who consumes books more via audio than physical?
Uh-huh.
You just said you prefer them not to act, you prefer them to narrate. But when the book is written in first person, doesn't it kind of beg them to act in some manner?
To a certain degree. And obviously these are written in first person. These are written from Carl's point of view because Carl is the main character. We're going to get to that. To a certain degree. But when I read a book and they are written in first person, I consider that person to be the narrator.
Fair enough.
I did this. So I don't need them to act per se. And these aren't acted, but each voice is distinct.
Fair enough.
He makes it very easy to tell who's doing what. If somebody yells, he yells. There's no sound effects, but if the book says boom, he says boom.
I haven't listened to the book. How does his voice sound when there are new reward or reward achieved? What does his voice sound like there?
That's a good question.
Let me see if I can do it. New achievement. You just blew up a school. Congratulations. You're an asshole.
Or when Princess Donut is like, there were a lot of babies in there, Carl. Like, God damn it, Donut.
God damn it, Donut.
You know what? I really hope that Dinniman is a fan of Top Gun because the original Top Gun, when the captain, how many times does he say, God damn it, Maverick? That's
right.
all I can think of.
Yeah.
There are so many throwbacks and Easter eggs.
Oh my God, so many Easter eggs.
So many.
Right? And so you did the Ready Player One comparison. And obviously Ready Player One has so many different 80s and 90s
Absolutely.
things in it. This does too, but it's not over the top.
And it's not done for the effect of being in an area where you need to know the references. They're just kind of sprinkled in for fun.
it's sprinkled in the same way that we do it in this podcast, where we'll be talking about something and be like, oh my God, that reminds me of such and such.
Right.
Yes.
Or, do you remember that episode of Gilmore Girls?
So I know how we will appreciate this.
I hope so.
Mordecai
Yeah.
reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Splinter.
Yeah.
All right.
100%.
So, yes.
So there's different points where like, all right, this is the Turtles. And then other parts you're like, ooh, there's a little bit of, what was that first person shooter game that was huge when we were in the late 90s?
Doom?
GoldenEye, Halo, yeah.
There's a lot of Halo effects there too,
So to me, originally, when I was thinking of Doom, I was thinking of Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein is
that's a good
another
one,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. But when I first started reading it, the first 50 pages, I was like, this is totally like Ready Player One. So I know that Howie's going to love it. So I immediately told him about it. And when I got back to it and I read in starts and spurts and stuff, it just couldn't get it
not
down.
your style of reading.
Not my style of reading. I read 400 pages yesterday
That's more your style of reading.
in about 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like a lot of people that will read it, they'll be like, all right, I'm starting book one. And I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you next week when you're done with the series.
Right.
Because people get into it and the endings of these books and the epilogues of these books.
They remind me of like old school television shows like Tune In next week.
Same bet
But
time,
here's the thing,
same bet
like,
channel.
So far, every book that I've finished, I've been like, well, I was going to go to sleep, but I guess I'll start book two. Talking about like, should I finish it before I go to sleep?
I tried, man. I tried.
Literally every book I've read, they're not cliffhangers per se, but they definitely make me want to go to the next.
They leave you wanting more.
And even with chapters, each chapter ends with, and then what?
Yeah. What cracks me up, now it's been established, I'm an English teacher, right? And the one of the teachers who still
In
works
theory,
with
do you
me.
have a job?
Yeah, in theory. Yeah.
Are you still hunting?
What?
Are you looking for anything else?
I was, but I've kind of put it on the back burner for a while. I'm still employed, and
But you just have the one job,
I just have the one job.
as opposed to Craig.
Yeah, who has 2 government checks. Yeah. Who's now glaring at us like, you're so full of it.
It wouldn't be an episode if we didn't bring that up.
So anyway, not only did Craig recommend this book, but so did one of my colleagues. And she said, I can't wait for you to get to know Princess Donut. So as we said in the beginning here, this is a book that skews towards, I would say, age 30 to 60 males.
100%, I would say that.
But it's accessible to anybody who's ever played any RPG or anything else. And
My contractor asked me, he goes, do you think my 14-year-old daughter could read this? I go, 100%.
yeah, absolutely. Now, I do like the interview that Matt Dinniman gave where a mother said, hey, do you think you could sign this book, book one for my kid? And the kid was like 8 or 10 years old. He goes, you really want your kid that age reading this?
Yeah, and as it goes on, there are definitely in the later books things that are not appropriate for.
I agree.
kids.
I agree. But in book one, there's stuff that's not really appropriate for kids. And in this interview, it was
At 14, you're in that gray area. Though.
Right.
Depends on where you're at.
But this video interview, and I am going to swear here in a second, all right, just in case anybody wants to like hit the beep button, right? But the mother is like, you don't understand. My kid's already read book one. And Matt Dinniman looked at the kid who was right there looking for an autograph. He goes, you've already read it? And the kid looked at Matt Dinniman and says, glurp, glurp, motherfucker. He goes, I guess you have.
Blurp, blurp.
I was like, oh my goodness.
I would have
That's funny.
laughed and then said, we're having a talk when we get home.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I think it's awesome that the kid is reading at that level. Awesome. At the same time, learn a little bit of etiquette. But at the
Right.
same,
That was the perfect response.
But it's also one of those things where it's like time and place. That was the right time, the right place, but don't do it anywhere else.
Right.
Honestly, the glurp glurp part of the book was one of my favorite parts.
Oh yeah, the whole like televised thing where they're like, it's great. It's absolutely.
I don't want to give away
It's
too
that
much
TikTok influencer
because
thing.
because I am further ahead, but that comes back.
Really?
I hope so.
Yes.
There's so
Also,
much that I can.
You mentioned Mordecai.
Yep.
So Mordecai as Splinter is perfect in book one. Mordecai is a different character in every book.
He's a different character in every level.
Yes.
which makes sense.
Oh, right. He does change characters in the second level. Yeah. So every level, he is a different. He's got a new voice, although they're all similar. The voices are all similar.
And they always recognize him.
Yes. Well, he does have a thing over his head that says
yeah.
Mordecai.
Level 50.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that there is a gigantic fan somewhere floating around on social media who has listened to the book, consumed the book, read the book, and he is fan casting who should be who on the upcoming television show.
Because apparently it's going to be a Peacock
There's
show.
going to be
Right.
Is it going to be live action or is it going to be?
Seth MacFarlane's in charge of it, from what I
has not
understand.
been announced what's going to happen yet.
I
but-
think
I'm not
it's
a
gonna be
huge Seth MacFarlane fan, but some of the stuff he does is brilliant.
Well,
so
I was a hit and miss Seth MacFarlane fan. Like I
same.
like Family Guy, I could take it or leave it.
Million Ways to Die in the West, loved it.
And then he did the Orville. The first season was okay. The second and third seasons were incredible, and it became a better show than latter stage Star Trek.
Right.
So if he basically takes this and mixes in his major successes, I'm sure he's not going to be perfect, but he's got a better shot than most.
I did
at
like the
succeeding.
first Ted movie. I just got to admit that.
Ted was.
But I personally feel like it should be animated.
I do too.
I don't see how you do this live action.
I think you could do
Every
some
once
sort
in a while, I got to tell you, while reading this, I heard the Pac-Man theme in the back of my head while I was reading it.
All right.
When they're trying to get rid of those the pupa stage, when they're trying to get past the pupa
of
stage,
those bugs.
of those bugs,
Yeah.
it's all I thought of was Pac-Man. I don't know why.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What did you guys think of the first boss, the Hoarder? So listening to it,
Reading it, it almost made me feel bad for the first boss.
Right,
felt
like she
horrible
was
for her.
terrified.
so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how it would come across without the listening because again, Jeff Hayes does such a good job in his narration.
They took
I
so much
felt-
from the world,
I felt horrible for her.
made her a giant, and then
And-
threw her in
and-
as a boss.
And then as a result of that, I also felt horrible for Carl because he clearly didn't want to kill her.
Right.
I thought that part was compelling. Let's put it that
I thought
way.
it humanized some of the book and drew me in more. Like,
Agreed.
how many more cursed humans are going to be
Well,
doing something that, I mean, you're further along than we are. I don't think that's-
Our last show that we did with the toaster, the infinite
The Roomba.
sadness, the emotion of the inanimate objects helped make the book deeper.
Right.
And so in this one, like she's not inanimate, obviously, but you know she's a boss. She's part of the game. The emotion that she brought out helped to make the entire experience like this isn't Space Invaders. This is not a video game that we're playing. The shit's real, and I feel like at that point it became a lot more real for me.
The thing that cracks me up is the bumbling to success.
Yes.
Because that's how we all played our first video games,
Oh yeah.
wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
No, I get it. I love the fact that new achievement and the certain things that wind up getting in there that he finds in the reward boxes, and the fact that he's recognizing that Donut is getting the same thing because she's pawing at her face, like get out of my face. And then when she finally eats the thing that lets her talk, which is the most ridiculous spoiler, if you want to call it that, because I would say she talks in the first 100 or so pages,
Yeah.
and everything
In the first 50.
yeah. Donut's like one of my favorite characters like ever, but all these different achievements and the fact that he's running around in boxer shorts,
Heart boxer shorts.
heart boxer shorts, and he's like, I want pants. He's complaining about the pants. Like, no, you don't get it. If you stay in your boxers, you have a better chance of surviving. He's like he sounds
right.
like Joe Pesci in Home Alone.
You
know?
are 6 books ahead of me.
us.
5.
I have a question, and go ahead and spoil it if you want to. I feel that B makes an appearance.
How do I put this?
It's not a no.
B comes up. B has a degree of significance later.
Okay.
We'll put it that way.
And the other one I have is there's much, much more to Agatha than we're led to believe, at least in the first book.
Yes. I'll be honest with that one. Just yes.
I would say probably more to Odette as well. I think some of the characters who have been introduced and just used cursory ways, or like
I like Odette too. I think she's
I think Odette's great. I think
Yeah.
Mordecai is great. I think Carl is great. I like the fact that some of the characters that have been introduced, you could just tell based on the fact that we've read books and seen movies before, just in general. There's more to them than we've been led to believe. Whether that is good or bad is remaining to be seen.
All right. So I'll tell you this. Dinniman is very good at callbacks.
Okay.
So if you see something and feel like this might mean something, it does.
Fair enough.
Okay.
If you read something and feel like it's some sort of foretelling, it probably is.
The way I see it, reading it with all the foretelling that's going on, because you can kind of pick up on where these things are going to be, he had to have laid out a whole series of notes to know exactly where he's going.
You have
There's
to
no
do this.
way
He has brought this up again.
that you can fly in the sea. He's not a pantser, as
He is a
Edward
pantser.
Ashton. Is he really?
He is.
Wow. That is
Not only
amazing.
that,
100% more respect.
Those
Not
are
only
some
that,
pretty
but he has
stylish pants.
He has a Patreon where he allows his Patreon subscribers to vote on aspects in future books.
That is amazing. Okay, so you've watched interviews with him. Does he have anything he wants to do after Carl's done?
He has not said.
Will he need to?
Honestly, he probably won't need to.
But you're an artist. You're gonna
exactly.
Right. The Rolling Stones are still putting out new albums. Came out today.
He does have other works though that are available. There are at least 3 or 4 other books by him.
I feel like I'm gonna buy all the books. Like I feel like this has to be part of the library.
Oh yeah. I mean, I borrowed book 2, but chances are I'm going to wind up buying book 2, 3, 4, 5.
I own the first 6 books, all on Audible. I will buy 7 and 8 eventually.
7's already out, right?
Yeah, 7 and 8 are both out. All right.
Okay.
I just haven't read them yet. I stopped because we were doing this and I wanted to reread 1, and then I also just started doing other things. Last week we talked about the advanced review copies. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, but most of those advanced review copies are like Kindle only.
Okay.
And so I recently bought a new Kindle just to do the advanced review copies.
You mentioned the other day I
brought it down to show you. Pretty freaking cool. So I was reading on an old Kindle, but it was an old Kindle. And then I was reading on my tablet, but the tablet's just kind of too big and too heavy. But I ended up getting a Kindle Color Soft.
That's what I was going to get. I was going to get a Paperwhite or a Color Soft.
So this is so the Color Soft is basically a Paperwhite, but it's color.
Okay. After you talked about it in the chat 3 or 4 days ago, I looked it up and I thought maybe I'd buy one.
So one of the really cool things, I think this is pretty much for
I plan on
everyone,
doing more traveling, so that might be the way to do it.
when you do an Amazon device, they'll let you pay for it over a year.
Really?
So like this was like $240, but it's $20 a month for the next 12 months. And I ordered it at 7 a.m. It came by noon.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If we
So
backtrack to our previous show with the infinite sadness of small appliances, there you go.
Yeah.
Was it delivered by drone?
It was not delivered by.
That would have been something.
I got that just because. Now this also has Audible in it.
Okay. Do you
But
get
it-
a
but it-
subscription
but
to Audible automatically when you buy a Kindle device? Sometimes they do that.
No, but it did have a subscription to Kindle Unlimited,
Okay.
which is actually really cool. So it's got a 3-month subscription to Kindle Unlimited. And I've had Kindle Unlimited before. It's how I've read a lot of books, especially like a lot of like the zombie books that I've read.
Zombie.
And they're not the best books, but they're free. So what the hell do you care? Our stuff is on Kindle Unlimited.
Okay. We made any more money?
the down at the
We up
park.
to
No,
2
just,
cents
just,
yet?
just the 9 cents we made
9
a couple months ago. One of the cool things, and I don't know if this is a new thing or if I just didn't notice before, Kindle Unlimited also includes several magazine subscriptions.
Really?
So like People, Time, basically free of charge. And remember last time we talked about the Twilight Zone magazine?
Yeah.
So one of the things on Kindle Unlimited is Alfred Hitchcock Murder Mysteries, a magazine.
Ooh.
It's a monthly magazine. It's free, basically, with the Kindle. So I don't want to sound like a commercial here. That said, Amazon, if you want to sponsor us, feel free. But
Jeff Bezos, you have plenty of money to sponsor
but
us.
at $9.99 a month, I really think that Kindle Unlimited is worth it. Free, 100%. I'm loving it so far.
That's sweet.
So-
I'm not sure how it would work out. I am considering buying one. We plan on doing a little more traveling now that we're older and the kids don't need us to be there holding their hands for every step of the way.
How is the blueberry?
Delicious.
All right. I think I'll get one myself.
Thank you.
So I've considered getting one for traveling because right now I carry a backpack with like 4 or 5 books in it. And that is cumbersome when you're on an airplane.
Yeah. Well, and so I've been when I have been reading, just been reading on, my tablet. It's too big. I don't know how we got on this target or how we got on this
We were
tangent.
talking about the manner in which we have consumed Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Right.
Getting back to the book that we are
Yeah,
discussing.
because you
for
didn't
the-
get to read the second parts of those little add-on
No,
things.
so yeah, those are physical only. They're not on Audible and they're not on Kindle. They are physical only.
And what is it called? Something
About Pineapple Cafe.
Pineapple.
Backstage at the Pineapple Cabaret.
I am convinced that if it's the Pineapple Cabaret, is it the same type of thing in book 2? Now that you have it in your hands, what's the?
I think it's just a continuation.
Because if it's all going to be,
Yeah, it's the second part 2.
okay, so they all go together. I am convinced that at the end of the series,
It's a secondary story,
It's
man.
going to tie in somehow
Yeah.
to
So-
everything that we've been reading.
Not having read these, is this Carl and Princess and Mongo or no?
No,
No,
it is. Can I spoil it here?
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
should. I think
Go
It's Rory the Goblin.
Okay.
So I don't know.
The goblin from the
Goblin.
from the first floor.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yeah, and she's hell-bent on revenge. She doesn't say who she's revenging against, but she's hell-bent on revenge.
Interesting. Is she on meth?
Ooh, it could be.
I'm wondering if she's looking for revenge against B. Now that you mentioned that she comes up, but she doesn't necessarily.
I'm wondering if she's looking for revenge against Donut and Carl.
Well, it's possible, but I think it's going to throw us for a loop.
It's only like 12 pages, so like
Well,
you'll
when it's
fly
all said
through
and
it.
done, there's going to be 10. There's going to be about 100-something pages of the Pineapple Cabaret. Cafe.
Interesting.
So I think it's going to tie into something else going on.
It may be the dungeon from a different point of view than Carl. The same events, because she definitely talks about an event that happened during Carl's crawl.
Yeah, she's talking about the explosion.
Yes.
In book 1.
Yep.
So back to the differences between Audible and printed copy.
That's how we got on the previous topic.
You mentioned Odette. So in the book, it's pronounced Audette.
Really?
So when I first saw it written Odette, I was like, oh, that's not what I was expecting. Similarly, Lucy Amar,
Right?
I thought was Lucy Amar, as opposed to Lucia Mar.
Okay.
So it has been interesting seeing things written out.
Do we get to see more of her later?
Lucy Amar?
Yeah.
I think so.
She sticks around.
There's
All right.
a handful of people from book 1 who I'm
Most
sure.
most of the people that you have met so far stick around for at least a couple more books.
Even the old people?
Even old people.
I've
Really?
seen several people online. We were going to discuss like the event you guys or you were talking about.
The
like,
one that I went to?
the amount of
Accidentally?
cosplaying right now online of this story and this saga is crazy. People like, I even told a teacher that I work with, I'm like, I'll wear heart boxers over a pair of sweatpants for Halloween.
Let me
Jeanette and I were talking about me going as Carl and her going as Donut for Halloween.
I think that's going to be one of the most popular couples costumes
Yeah.
this fall.
I now feel terrible that I never heard of it until this year.
Similarly, like I literally heard of it for the first time just a couple months ago.
I heard of
after
it.
you had bought it, but before you had mentioned it to me.
I heard of it, but I judged the book by its cover, and I'm like, whatever. And then, Craig read it, somebody else recommended it. I'm like,
I only read the first 50 pages at that point.
no, I know, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, maybe I need to. Look, we are all guilty of judging books by their
I'm
cover.
going to tell you how I think I came into bowling with the library copy of the book, and I said, you need to read this book. You're going to love it.
Yeah,
it is
you
like...
did. You
Like
did.
I was high praising in the first 50 pages.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened. And it took me a while to get to it. And then, of course, it took until now for all three of us to read it at the same time and discuss it.
And now I feel bad for taking so long.
Like, yeah, I mean, I feel bad that it took essentially 6 years to get
Right.
to this book because I saw it on sale. I'm like, this looks like people are, okay, what's the next big thing? Now it's a big thing.
I think this is a bigger thing than Harry Potter, actually.
I think
So
it has
we- so-
potential for that.
All right, quick aside. I'm coming right back. Kindle Unlimited. All 8 books are on Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
Back. Harry Potter. Yes, Harry Potter was huge for kids. This is huge for Gen X males.
Yes.
I have seen more social media posts about my husband won't stop reading this book. He's never read anything in his life.
And now he's reading all 8 books in a matter of a week
I
and a
have
half.
seen
Yeah.
so many social media posts about men that don't read loving this. And I really do think that this could be, we talked a few episodes ago about like modern day classics.
Yes.
To me, Harry Potter is a modern day classic because it got kids to read.
Right.
Yes.
My children are both voracious readers, largely because of Harry Potter. So,
And this book is
J.K.
bringing...
Rowling, like her lover, but she did great things for the world.
And
Yeah.
Matt Dinniman is bringing back people who used to read, haven't read in a while, but are now reading again.
Or some who have ever never
Right.
read, like haven't read anything since high school.
So I know you wanted me to bring this up. I went to a Dungeon Crawl
Oh, right.
Carl
I want to
event
hear more about this
at Barnes & Noble
by accident.
by accident.
Really?
So my wife decided that we were in the process of remodeling our kitchen. So we had to go appliance shopping. The only day we had available was Father's Day.
Okay.
And I'm like, if we're going, I don't want to go shopping on appliance day, on a Father's Day. And
Father's Day, Appliance Day, same
yeah,
difference.
same thing. Yeah.
We know our worth.
The only difference between men and boys is the
I
price
said-
of their toys.
Right.
Yes.
I said,
Infinite sadness.
if I,
It's nice not being the butt of a joke for once.
Right.
Oh, okay. So anyway, go on.
I said, if we're going to go out appliance shopping, then we're already in Williamsville. I want to go to Barnes & Noble.
Right.
So we go there and there's
It's a
like
reasonable request.
40 people there. And they're all my age, our
Right.
age. They're
You're
like,
like, what the hell is going on?
45 to 55. I'm like, what? Exactly. What the hell is going on? They had there's just a tiny little event that they were just there to discuss the book. And there's just people milling around, almost all men, by the way.
How many were in costume?
None.
Okay, too early.
I think that's one of the things that you'll find is that people our age aren't dressing up in the cosplay, but the younger readers are.
Right.
Yes, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's cargo shorts.
Yeah, I don't want to see you in boxers.
Right. Cargo shorts, socks, and sandals, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that works.
And they're just picking up the next books that are available because they've been reading them since the first of the year. And like this whole group, and the manager at Barnes & Noble said the amount of middle-aged men who have come in to buy books since the first of the year is the most in any of the 5 years I've been manager here.
Which is awesome.
And I'm really hopeful that what's going to happen is they're going to get through the 8 books
Yeah.
and find another series.
Right.
And reads. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but wouldn't that be cool?
It would
Wouldn't
be fantastic.
Amazing if people actually read again.
It would be very nice because all the headlines and stories and studies are showing that people are not reading nearly as much as they used to. They're reading little snippets on TikTok and Instagram and seeing reels. It's not the same thing. I mean, the other day I took my daughter wanted to go somewhere. She was like 12. She was like, well, let's go to the library. She wanted to return a book. Well, the library was closed because it was a Saturday afternoon in the summertime. Like, oh, okay. She says, well, why don't we go to Author's Note? Author's Note is the independent bookstore in Medina, right?
I was there yesterday.
And what does she decide to do? She's like, can I get this book? I left my gift card at home. I'm like, Raina, I can buy you a book. It's fine. $10, no big deal. You know, if my
I'm
daughter,
never going to turn down my kid asking if they can buy a book.
No, absolutely not. So I bought her a new book because she was very, very close to finishing the book she had borrowed from the library. Scott, you were mentioning Harry Potter. My youngest got hooked on reading at an early age. And at one point, I know I've mentioned it on this podcast before, I introduced her to The Underland Chronicles by Suzanne Collins, which is the series she wrote predating The Hunger Games.
Right.
And for my money, it's better than Hunger Games.
You've mentioned that numerous times.
Maybe that's one of the books we should read sometime. That series.
If we wanted to, even if we just want to do book 1, because it's legitimate.
And I got to tell you, The Hunger Games for me is up there too. I
100%.
I just tore through The Hunger Games.
And you would tear through this series too, because one, it skews a little bit younger.
In the order that I've read, Harry Potter, Hunger Games,
my daughter liked
Maze Runner.
My daughter liked the Underland
I haven't
Chronicles.
read the Maze Runners. I've seen them, but I never read them.
My daughter liked the Underland Chronicles so far better than Harry Potter.
Okay.
To the point where it was the middle of the night. My wife and I are dead asleep. 1:30 in the morning. My daughter turns the light on, walks into the bedroom. She goes, I have to talk to Dad. She was like 10.
Isn't that a wonderful feeling when she's talking about books?
It is. I go, what's the matter? What's going on? She goes, why did so-and-so have to die? I'm like, oh, you finished the last book? She goes, yes. I go, isn't it a great series? She goes, well, yeah, but why did so-and-so have to die? I'm like,
Divergent is in there also.
So I'm like,
the Insurgent, Divergent,
Allegiant, and all those, right? But series like that get kids hooked on reading, they turn them into people who are going to read this eventually. People who are not readers diving back in, reading something like this because it makes them remember earlier times in their childhood, which is what this does.
So both my kids read like crazy. My oldest daughter has her own book club that she does. My youngest daughter is currently reading all the classics for some reason. I don't know why, but awesome.
Because you need to at some point.
So I don't remember what Harry Potter book it was that came out, maybe Azkaban, but there was an event at midnight at Noah's Ark when it was in the Bewley building.
Yep. And when the book release came out?
Yeah. And we went.
I think I was there.
I want to see more midnight book releases because they've stopped for a long time.
I know that Harry Potter did it a lot, and we went to.
Let me tell you, book 9 may be the next one.
I think you might be onto something.
I know that when the Potter books came out, 4, 5, 6, 7, or maybe 5, 6. I don't remember.
5, 6, 7 were huge.
Yeah, we went at midnight and got multiple copies of each book because we had our kids read all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt whatsoever that Harry Potter made them readers.
Right.
I think this is slowly morphing into, maybe it's just my mind, a discussion about just physical media in general. All right. Midnight book releases. I remember at one point, Scott, you might remember, I did a story for the Medina paper before it closed at a midnight release for the Hunger Games movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in line with people talking with them. And this one lady who was probably, so this would have been like 2012, 2013. I wasn't even full time yet. And, I was talking to some teenagers who were super excited, and then someone who was probably, we'll say, somewhere between the age of 25 and 35. I go, have you ever been online for something like this before? She goes, yep, Twilight. I go, oh, okay. And Twilight was also a big series that came out. The movies more so than the books, I would say.
I don't know if that's true.
Books are terrible.
The books have their fans, but the movie releases were more
And you may be right.
impactful than the book releases.
You may be right. They're both too early for my kids,
Oh,
and
I-
I had no interest, so I didn't pay as much attention.
But it was funny. She's like, I'm happy that people are excited for stories. I'm happy that people are excited for this, but I'm also happy that I don't see a whole lot of girls here fangirling over vampires who might be sparkling. Because she was there for the Twilight one, but she was like, I'm not doing that one again. But Hunger Games was different.
And that's what excites me about Dungeon Crawler Carl, going to that event and seeing all old dudes there. I'm
Right.
like,
Yes, because
this
like,
is
we see
awesome.
Our people. It's our
Yeah.
people.
Well, and here's the thing. Yes, there are a bunch of old dudes like us, but back to my social media, it's everybody.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
It's male,
Oh, yes.
it's female, it's young, it's old. There was one woman, she's like, I am 72 years old. It was a 72-year-old female, and she's like, these books are amazing. And I was like, fuck yeah, sister.
We're the first generation to have video games in our lives.
Yes.
And so this harkens back to everything that we were doing in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I got that same vibe as Ready
Well, he
Player
talks
One.
about the Frogger game in his basement.
Right.
Yes.
Dude, I loved Frogger.
I've got a Frogger tin sign in my classroom.
And you were talking about Ready Player One. Like, that's just a very small callback. Like, that's definitely a thing that relates to Gen X, not necessarily males, but largely.
I think the beauty of this book.
Little pitfall in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think the beauty
Spy
of
Hunter.
the beauty of this book, and I would imagine the series moving forward, is that it doesn't necessarily touch on one game or two games. It touches on the premise of so many at once without necessarily naming them. We've name dropped several already, and you could see bits and pieces of them and the inspiration from those games in this book. Like I mentioned Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior. You throw those in there because it's like, he says, I unlocked a new achievement. I got experience points. I got hit points. I got this power. I can cast a spell. I could do it this way. And then you throw in the Dungeons and Dragons bit.
Wolfenstein.
You
for
mentioned-
sure.
Right.
Yep. The fact that it's like new achievement. Like, heck, even some of that's from Super Mario 3 when you wound up in the little mushroom house. It's like, hey, congratulations, you found my secret lair. Go get an item. It's just so much of that is stuff Gen X grew up with.
I got to tell you, reading this book and they're going through the dungeon and they're going into safe rooms, they're going to these other rooms. All I can think of is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoons when they're in the sewers. It's how I'm picturing what's
All right.
going on in this dungeon.
I was never a huge fan, so that's definitely not a thing that
I get what you're saying.
sprung for me.
I get what you're saying. I like I'm waiting. Please tell me at some point one of the characters in one of these safe rooms says it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Like, will one of them say that at some point? Isn't that like a direct quote from Zelda?
I don't know that.
I don't know
that I remember.
but I got
that
Zelda
phrase.
vibes also.
Oh, sure. Well, and then so each floor is its own new
It's all new world, basically.
world. So like the first floor, to me, I'm seeing Doom or Wolfenstein or what was the other one? There was a third one.
Halo.
No.
No.
This is Castle. This is definitely like
Castlevania.
Yes.
yeah. So definitely like to me, that's how I'm viewing. I'm viewing like first person shooter games with like the things scrolling by
Games we've played.
as you go into other floors. Not necessarily video games, but it's all new environments.
And it's getting more difficult.
Yeah.
But I will tell you too, when that first 50 pages thing, when they were fighting those little goblins at the beginning and they had that tank or whatever, I got visions of Harry Potter with the wizards trying to be muggle-ish and trying to put something together like a automobile. That's what popped into my head. So like there's this crossover over multiple fan verses.
Well, and so with the goblins specifically, the methed out goblins were like, so we do this and then we do it again and we do it again and eventually we go down to other levels and eventually we don't have to fight anymore. And so this is an NPC. This is not a normal NPC. Like there's like from the very beginning of the series, if you're really paying attention, and I'm telling you, I don't want to call Dinniman a genius, but dude knows what he's doing.
I can't believe he's a pantser, man.
Because all the little things that he does, I think that he will tell you he's not a pantser, but the way he says it, he definitely is. So all the little things that he does ends up mattering. And so like being where I am at and going back and rereading book one, the conversation with the gnomes, what the fuck are the
Goblins.
Goblins, thank you.
Okay.
Like gremlins, what are they? the conversation with the goblins hits different on a second reading, which will just tell you that other shit happens.
Fair enough.
That when you pull back there, you're like, oh, he was trying to like.
How much does he reread what he's written as he adds to the series? That's what I would love to know.
So he said somewhere else he's got a spreadsheet.
Okay. Yeah, that works because there's a large percentage of stuff I've read or stuff I've watched where people should have had a spreadsheet, and the consistency.
Well, it is really funny. So
consistency's not there.
Jeanette will make spreadsheets as she's reading things, so she can go back and like because like she had recently read a series of books, and it was fantasy.
Okay.
And it was a whole new world that she had never heard of with new characters and new animals, and so she had to make a spreadsheet. So that like she could go back and figure out who the hell was who, because all of the names were like Scott and Steve and Sean and
all the
Stefan, and like just as an example, like all the names were similar, and so she had to make a spreadsheet to figure out what she was doing. So speaking of what she was doing, what are you doing?
I just looked
over
up,
there on your phone. We're doing a podcast here.
I was just looking up his page on Fantastic Fiction, and I was going to say that, and I wanted to make sure that I was right before I said it. I picture the author just writing these as fast as he can, as frantically as he can. And it seems like it's a frantic pace.
It's a frantically paced novel.
Right.
Yes.
And so I'm looking at the first couple books here. Dungeon Crawler Carl, the first book, 2020. Second book is 2021. The third book is 2021. The fourth book is 2021. The fifth book is 2022. The sixth book is 2023. The seventh book is 2024. So it wasn't like he was wasting any time. They were coming fast and furious, the ideas.
And the eighth book is 2026. Yeah.
I'm betting based on the publication dates of that
he had a lot of them already written. I think.
He had the first couple written.
He had to have had the first couple written, and the other ones were ready and waiting to go until the first one finally took off.
Right.
He's got a book in here, a novel from 2018 that our late great friend George would have probably read, called Kaiju.
Yes, and I've heard good things about that. And then there's something about balloons. Is there a balloon book?
Operation Bounce House.
Bounce House, that's the one. I've heard good things about that as well.
Isn't that a Dungeon Crawler Carl adjacent?
It is adjacent.
Is it adjacent?
Yeah. I think it's a standalone for the dungeon.
Interesting.
Kaiju is one that I'm sure George would love.
The Project Bounce House thing. What happens when we become your planet's final boss?
Speaking of which, going back to the book premise itself, I love the fact how everything just starts off with just full on destruction.
Oh yeah.
It grabs you like it's like everything.
Carl walks outside and everything is gone.
Yeah, and why did he walk outside? Because his ex's cat was outside. And can we talk about the fact that the ex is making fun of him for not picking up on the fact that his ex was cheating on him with multiple guys?
The cat is hilarious. Like, she's like, I don't understand, like how like you can be so perceptive of this and not realize that B is screwing everyone.
Yeah,
right.
She's like, wait, other
what?
guys.
So here's one thing that I wanted. Here's one thing I wanted to point out about Donut. So they always say that animals know before an earthquake or before she runs outside directly before this thing happens. So is that animal instinct kicking in?
I feel like it had to be. Because it said she was the first time she's ever done it. I feel like it had to be.
Yeah.
We cut him off during his Barnes & Noble story. You never got to the fun part.
The manager's girlfriend said that Donut is actually the real main character. I do not agree after having read book 1.
I do not agree after reading
you're
book 6.
6 books ahead of me, so...
Yeah. I mean, it's a partnership to a large degree, but it's still written in the first person.
Correct.
And it's still I
got into a stupid social media debate with somebody about main characters regarding the book Project Hail Mary.
I'm going to watch it tonight when I get home, by the way.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
You will
good.
enjoy it. You really will enjoy it.
I got into this. I said, at this point, it's late in the year 2026. I'm not giving much away to anybody, but if anybody hasn't seen
We're
the movie...
midway. Don't give us too much away.
Well, the point I'm getting at, if you've read the book...
Which we did a couple years ago.
We've read the book. The book came out in 2021.
Yep.
There is...
I read it when it came out. I got it one of those late night releases because I knew it was coming out.
I read it and I was recommending it to you guys. I'm like, you have to read this. It's just so great. There is a part about a quarter of the way through the book where an alien shows up. And the alien is, I argued, a main character.
Oh, yeah.
I said Project Hail Mary has 2 main characters, Grace and the alien. And the person I was arguing with says, no, Grace is the main character and the alien is a supplementary character. I'm like, I don't know.
They don't
man.
work without each other.
You can't have one without the other. The story stops on page like 200 without the alien.
All right. By the same token, then,
I think
Carl and Donut are the main characters.
I think you could say there are more than one main character in a story. It doesn't have to be one. You can have two, possibly three. More than that, now we're getting into who's what. I will argue that any story, unless it is just one guy and one guy only, or girl, there can be more than one main character.
Right. Or hold on, throw a wrench in this mofo. What if the AI is the main character?
Scout, what are you doing to us?
I would love to see this from the AI's point of view.
Well, that might be
So-
book 11.
So I will tell you, the AI gets more and more. The AI becomes more of a character as it moves along.
Okay.
Howie and I have not read as much as you have, but here is without knowing what's
I
going
really
on.
feel
ahead
like
of time.
I feel like by the time we get together next time, you will both have largely caught up.
I don't know
I
about
hope
that.
so.
I got several other ones on my pile that I want to
I don't know. I
before.
may clear my after reading last night and early this morning. I may clear my to be read list to fit these in,
I will probably have gone through book 2.
which
but
is
I
a
got so many
180 from earlier this week.
other- Right.
Well, all right. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I'll probably have book 2 read. Book 3 is a question mark.
So all right. So you both fairly certain you'll have read book 2?
Yeah,
Would you be interested in doing another one of these for book 2
100%.
in like 2 episodes
100%.
I think that's a good idea.
and
Yeah.
continue and do like a dungeon crawler and another and would just keep doing.
I would like that actually.
All
I
right.
think that makes sense. That makes planning these out
Because
a
I know
lot
we had talked about Lord of the Flies for our next show.
Yes, and
We're still going to do that.
And I
All
think
right.
that's
So we'll do Lord of the Flies and then
After that, we'll do
and then
book
Dungeons
2.
Doomsday Carl's
Doomsday
Doomsday scenario.
Yeah,
that
All
works.
right. Cool. Look at us. Like we almost look like we know what the hell we're doing.
That's
Almost.
let's not fool anyone.
You fake it till you make it, right?
Right.
But I think generally speaking, we gave this 6 thumbs up and what?
Oh, at
I
least.
will tell you, this got 4 stars. And if I
14
could
out
give
of 15
half
stars.
stars, because I am Howie has noticed because he follows my Goodreads pretty closely. Apparently, I don't give out a lot of 5s.
I am hesitant to give out 5s, and I hate giving out 3s too. But-
3s is non-committal to me.
So I end up giving out a lot of 4s,
4s and 2s.
and 4 could be good or bad. I don't like the system.
I would give this 4.5, 4 3/4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm currently, but by the time in another, I would say by the time tomorrow afternoon rolls around, I will have finished a book that I am reading that I might give a 1 to because I want to get the tally down and having read a book for the year. But
But will you give it a 1?
I think I will.
I've given a couple books a 1. 1s are almost as rare as 5s.
Yeah.
They're probably a little more popular than 5s. I don't mean popular, but you know.
For
what I mean.
me, as a rule, if I don't like a book, it gets a 3. If I like it
I'm going to give.
forever, it gets a 5.
I'll.
90% get 4s.
Right.
I'm with you on that. Like if I read the book, I enjoyed the book, probably a 4. I am more liberal with my 5s. If I really love the book, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be great. I'll talk
Small
about it forever.
Appliances got a 5 for me.
I think I give it a 5 as well.
My wife, on the other hand, if she hates a book, it gets a 4.
4?
But she's too nice. You know?
She's
But
got a different. Clearly, she has low standards.
I'm in a book.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I'm reading a book right now that a social media account I follow, the guy recommended like, oh, this book really sticks with you. And I'm reading it. I got about 100 pages to go. And I'm like, I still have no idea what's going on.
All right. Do you feel like you need to finish it? Like I definitely get to
Yes.
a point where I'm like,
Now I feel like
I have to finish. Like this is basically torture, but I will keep reading.
I want to finish it
yeah.
because one, I want my numbers to go up, and
Right.
2, it's just like I'll give it a 1, but my review is going to say something like, I did not like this book.
If I don't finish a book, it has to be literally torture.
Well, I think I can predict what my review is going to be. Like, I did not like this book because there was a whole lot of nothing that happened, in my opinion. Others may like it, and if they do, that's great. It just simply was not
In
for me.
all my
I
reviews-
give it a 1.
In all my reviews, even if I don't like a book, I try to find something positive to help reinforce the author that, like, maybe this is just a bad book for you.
The
but
good
you
news
can-
is that this book was only 100 pages.
Right. I've never had one of those, but you don't want to discourage people from creating.
Right.
No, I agree.
So
with that.
even if I don't like a book, I try to find something I like about it to give them something to push for.
like I say that about a lot of different things. Like I don't like it. It wasn't for me. I wasn't the target audience. Like
Same.
Yeah,
And you know, a lot of times someone will suggest a book and I'll read it and be like, all right, that definitely wasn't my thing. Jeanette and I have completely like what she likes and what I like are very, very different.
But you both love Dungeon Carl.
We
Dungeon
both,
Crawler Carl.
and I think I mentioned this book to you a couple episodes ago, or maybe just in passing. Riley Sanger.
I love Riley
She'd
Sanger.
mentioned a Riley Sanger book.
Great books.
There's a new one out.
Definitely
Yeah.
definitely not in my wheelhouse, but I loved it.
But you'll want to read it so you can't read anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a book that one of the clerks at the author's notes recommended. She's like, "Oh yeah, this one came out recently. It's really, really good. I loved it." So I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I bought this book. I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to poo-poo the book right now. But I'll just say, like, I read the book in one sitting.
Right.
It was only like 220 pages, and the whole time I'm reading, I'm like, "Why is this getting good?" So when I went back to the shop like a couple days later. She goes, "Oh, you read it already?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "What do you think?" I go, "It wasn't for me. Just I understand.
Sure.
Like it was written very." Beautifully, but I just didn't get the story. Like it just wasn't for me. So anyway, this though, Dungeon Crawler Carl was.
Well, I was worried for a while because Craig wasn't buying it, and I was like,
"Oh, I was too." I'm like, "This is
when I originally suggested that we do these, I was like, and I told Jeanette, I was like, and we can do one for each book, and then like halfway through, Craig's like, I don't know, guys. I'm like, well, I want to do the other books though.
But Scott and I were both thinking, like, dude, this is up. I'm like, I even remember you at bowling, like, this is so good. This is so good. And then you're like, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, something is wrong with Craig.
Yeah.
Well, and it all comes down to what was happening in my life over the last 5. We have not had a kitchen in our house since Memorial Day, and we finally on July 20th got our kitchen back. So
That's a good thing that you have a kitchen again.
It
Yes.
is. I feel
It's a good thing to eat.
well, I bought my wife a Blackstone so we can eat while we were. I got her 36-inch Blackstone
I
breakfast.
thought that was a gift for you.
It was for her. It was a Mother's Day gift.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But breakfast on the Blackstone is phenomenal. Homemade pizza on the Blackstone is
All right. I'll buy that.
whew, it is so good. You know what? I'll invite you guys over for pizza some night.
I have
Love
not
it.
used my Blackstone in quite a while. I
Well-
need to move its location at my house so I can use it more frequently and make some breakfast on it.
In the vein of Dungeon Crawler Carl, if you like our podcast, like it. Comment on it.
Yeah. Subscribe on
Follow us.
subscribe whether it's on YouTube or on Podbean.
Podbean. Send us books.
Right.
We like gifts.
We do like gifts.
Yep. Send us alcoholic beverages. You've heard what we liked in our last. Where were we on episode 6?
I
5
think
or
so.
6?
4, 5, 6.
Something
only
like
4.
that. So I think
We're almost to a full hand.
Edward Ashton was 3.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Ashton was 2.
Ashton was 3.
So this is number 5.
Oh, this is 5.
So this is 5.
Hey, we're a
Yeah.
whole hand. There you
Math
go.
is not my thing.
No, mine either.
We all read, so math is definitely not our thing.
But check us out. Buzzwords for Scott, Howie, and I'm Craig. Thank you for listening about Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Next time we're gonna do
Lord of the
Flies.
Rings.
Lord of the Flies. And we're gonna do both the book
And the
and the
miniseries.
Netflix show.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we'll do that in a couple weeks. And then we'll come back with the other second Dungeon Crawler Carl after that. We've got a plan.
Yes.
All right.
It's a good plan.
All right. Love you guys.
Yep. Have a good one. Bye.